Hey everybody, how's it going? So today I wanted to do something a bit different. I wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit of Google queries. I've seen a couple of inquiries and questions online, and I said, let's go ahead and give it a shot. All right, so the first thing we need to do, we need to make sure that we've imported properly our data set. As you see over here, I have a data set of two columns, one of name and unit sold. Now, the one thing that I want to do and showcase is how powerful a query can be. And one of the questions that I received out of this particular data set was who is the person who's sold the most, and basically display the name of that person. So let's get on it. All right, so in order for us to go ahead and make sure that we get or capture our name that has the highest number of sold units is we're going to need to import the data. So let's open the query autocomplete component and let's pull up the information that we'll be utilizing. In this particular scenario, we're pulling the dataset tab, range B1 through C. Always remember to take the entire range just to make sure that if new data is being added, it always contemplates it or it continues updating that recurringly. So the next item is we need to open the brackets, comma and then open brackets. We're going to select the columns that we'll be working with. In this particular case, we're working with column B, and we're also working with the sum of column C, as we need to get the total amount of units that each individual name has sold. We need to group this, so we're grouping it by column B, and as you can see, this immediately adds all the totals or all the amount of units sold per name. Now, once we've already completed that portion, we need to order our information. So we use the order by built-in system that query gives us, and we're doing this on the sum of C. As you noticed, it's already arranged my data. However, it's displaying from least to most, and I want to do from most to least. So to do this, let's add descending. And as you can tell, I've already received the person who has sold the most units in this dataset. In this case, it's Pablo Drago. So what we need to go ahead and proceed to doing next is we need to remove the titles of the columns, and we also need to remove the excessive amount of information that we won't need. So there is a feature called limit within queries that will allow us to only display the first one or the top selling agent, or in this case, particular person. Um, we're going to label B as empty. Whoops. And we're also going to label sum as empty. There we go. All right, so as you were able to see here, I added a label per column, basically in order for us to be able to remove any title or add any title as we see fit. We'll use the label feature also within the query system, and we use the single brackets since we've already closed in or open double brackets here or double quotes here. We need to use the single quote so that we don't exit the query language or the query spectrum. That's how I like to call it. Um, Now, obviously, this over here doesn't help us because we get the name and we also get the number, and we really only want the name. So we can fix this by just querying the whole entire data set again, and just by selecting the first column. And easy as that, we're just able to get the name of the person who has sold the most. If we update the dataset or if we continue to add information in our dataset tab, then obviously this is going to be updated and we shouldn't see any problems moving forward.